I tell you something that happened over the weekend with somebody that called me. I'm trying to remember who it was right now. They were very disappointed. And they said, oh, I know who it was. This was one of my brothers from Panama. And he said the following. And it touched me when he said it. He said, you and I have kids. Our kids are fairly grown now. But all these people that you see, MAGA folks, they have kids. And he said, we sit at home trying to be an example to our kids, right? So I try to live my life in such a manner that my kid could look up to her dad and be proud of what she saw. I tried my best to lead by example. As a Afro-Latino Caribbean man in America, I have other burdens because there are consequences that this affords me. And the consequences being that in many things, I have to work harder, twice as hard for a lesser result than the average. When my daughter was going to school here in Kingwood, when she was going to college, I told her the same thing. Be prepared to work twice as hard for half as much, but be prepared to work. Make yourself the example. And then we got an Obama. And this is all the things that was inferred by my buddy. We got an Obama, one wife, two kids, stayed together for decades or have stayed together for decades. She went to school, got a higher education. Both of the parents did. Made sure that to keep an insular family. Made sure that as they went into the White House, they kept an insular family, a mother that came to take care of folks as well. Make sure the kids were rounded. Make sure the kids had an example to look at. Did the right thing. And we had those on the right that were into Obama's skin as if he wasn't that good American that he is. And I'm not an Obama fan on policy completely because I think Obamacare was done incorrectly. But that's okay. The thing is that he lived the life America said, this is what the kind of person we want to look up to. He got 2 terms. America did right. Now, compared to the people he ran against. Now, McCain was a good guy. McCain served the country well. But McCain had some issues. But Romney, he was a corporate raider. Romney, yes, he's a corporate raider that did so many bad things. But now comes Trump. And it's bad enough that Trump has some support of relatively wealthy people on the right. But the thing that most people should be most concerned about is that when the evangelical movement came on and supported Trump, even though, remember, in the beginning, they wanted to have nothing to do with him. He was too immoral. He was too corrupt. He slept with prostitutes. He had several baby mamas. He just was a philanderer. He did all these things that the evangelicals people speak up against, that purportedly the Bible speak up against. All these bad things this guy does. He was not the family guy that Obama was. He was not that nurturer that Obama was. Black man, Donald Trump, white privilege. He could say anything. He could do anything. Absolutely anything. He could cheat a charity, a slap on the wrist. He could stiff his employees, take them to court and let them, and it's all by attrition. He could go ahead and have a university that doesn't, all the immoral things that he did to people, all these immoral things that he did to people. And evangelical says, yeah, but God sent him. That's what God sent. Your God sent him so that your children, who you tell, don't be philanderers' children, don't be prostitutes' children, don't be whoring children, don't be sexually promiscuous children, don't do, all these things that you tell your children, you try to live so that your children have something to live up to. And then the president of the United States, he not only does all these things or do all these things, he's not only goes with prostitutes, he doesn't only stiff people, rip people off, grab women by their, he doesn't only do these things, He's proud of it. He talks about it. And then you have to tell your child, MAGA, that's the president. That is who God sent us. That is of God. There's a piece that I wanted to clip today from a former writer in conservative papers that he said the evangelical church, pretty much canceled him. I may do that piece tomorrow. But you think about this. Your children, the children that you are asking, you are telling your children, be good, be respectful, do the right thing. But we want Donald Trump as president. We want the guy who rapes women as president. We want the guy who grabs women by their crutches as president. We want the guy who stiffs you as an employee, as a contractor for him. We want the guy who rips off his own charity for personal gain. We want to have the guy who steals from university as your president. If you want to know the degeneracy of our society and why so many people throw their hands up in the air and said it doesn't pay to be good, it doesn't pay to do the right thing, because doing all the wrong things gave this privileged man the presidency of the United States, and he is running again as a potential former president who could potentially become president if I don't do my job right, and all progressives out there trying to remind people about who this person is if they don't do the job. So I hope all of you that talks about morality, that likes to put down, and many of you in this chat, that always trying to find an issue with a black person doing something, or a Latino doing something, or a Muslim doing something that is away from what you think is the right thing. Donald Trump fulfilled the circle because he's done it all. He's done it all. He has done it all. And there are people who think it is okay to vote for him. If that isn't the height of immorality, I don't know what is. But it speaks more about those who will vote for him than him himself, or those who make the right call. Anyway, that was my rant of the day. When my brother called me and said, how am I supposed to deal with my kids? And my kids said, it doesn't, a lot of kids now are saying, what the heck, it doesn't pay to do good. Look, there's President Trump. He did it all the wrong ways, and he's getting rewarded for doing it. He is getting rewarded for doing it. So remember that, folks. Remember that.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.